And some people exploit our insecurities and fear of rejection to make us do what they want us to do, whilst persuading us to think that's what we want to do too.
We came from distant space.
This sort of manipulation is used by some religious sects. They don't call themselves cults, but they operate on the same level.
It means that even the mind that you had as a human is aborted.
Ian Howarth was himself a member of a cult, but he is now the director of the Cult Information Centre.
It is a myth to imagine that you could not be recruited into a cult. You can, and there are over 500 operating in the UK at present. People assume you have to be young, probably falling apart at the seams, maybe you're on drugs or something. The reality is different. The easiest person to recruit into a cult tends to be someone that comes from an economically advantaged family background, is well educated, and is often described as idealistic. They're smart, caring people.
Now, if you would hold your patch, see, it says Heaven's Gate Awaiting.
There are some clues that you may be being approached by a cult recruiter. If this person wants to give the impression of being your best friend ever within the first minute of meeting you, then maybe there's a hidden agenda. I would say that every single person that is in a cult, other than perhaps the leaders, the founder leaders, does not realise that he or she is in a cult.
Thou shalt break them with a rod of iron, thou shalt dash them in pieces.
If they did realise that they were in a cult, they wouldn't stay.
Tough. It's got more than guns. It's got God.
To describe cult leaders as very persuasive is putting it extremely mildly. Cult leaders have latched on to these methods known as methods of psychological coercion. These mind control techniques include things like hypnosis. It will be disguised in some other way. There is tremendous peer group pressure to conform to the wishes of the group at all times. Sleep deprivation is very, very common so that you become fatigued. Something called love bombing. Lots of hugs and kisses from the opposite sex. It's one great family, you're really welcomed, as long as you toe the party line and don't ask any questions. But the moment you do ask an awkward question or go against the party line, the love is turned off. When they're used en masse, the average person will be broken down by a typical cult in a matter of 3 or 4 days. If that person manages to escape, whether they've been in the cult for 2 weeks, 2 years, or 20 years, it normally takes at least a year to fully recover from the damage done.
The persuasion techniques used by cults are so intense, it's nothing short of brainwashing. But these techniques are found in dilute form in everyday life. We all need to be able to use them, but at the same time we have to be aware when they're being used on us.